Hey guys, I have a little bit of a different video this week. I have to repot one of my flowers that stay by the front door. Pot's a little too small, it's getting too big for it. So we're gonna repot it and I'm going to get rid of my Indian blues. Now, I thought the Indian blues would have been okay for perch fishing. The reality of it is they are way too skinny even for a number 10 hook. They work, they're pretty active on the hook, but it just ain't it. So I'm getting rid of the worms. I'm gonna use them in these flower pots, and I'm going to split my European nightcrawler bin half and half into where my Indian blues used to be. So I'll show you guys what we have going on today. I've been dodging the rain and the weather for fishing, so we haven't been able to do that. So we'll do some worm chores and keep our bait going. All right, so this is the pot I need to redo, and this is the Rebecca Lynn Dahlia from Swan Island. Swan Island's really great. We're gonna repot it into this pot. It's one I already had. It's probably a little bit too small. Probably should go to an even bigger one, but I just don't have another pot. So this was some of my Indian blue compost that I took out, and I'm gonna use this to repot. So I'll set you guys up and we'll get this going. All right, so it looks like this is almost just as deep. So I'll put a little bit on the bottom. I need to drill some holes. There's no holes down here, so I need to drill some drain holes. I'll probably drill a couple on the side and then a few just on the bottom. So let me go do that. All right, we got our bucket holes drilled. I just did 3 in the bottom and then 2 at the very, very bottom. These ones on the side, when they sit on concrete, they might get stopped up. So I like that they have this little lip with these little pieces here to let that water drain out. So should be good to go. I'll put a little bit of compost in the bottom and we'll repot this and see what it looks like. This is really dry. So probably need to give it a good watering. All right. I don't think this is gonna help too much. Maybe we can put one of these in here. And it'll at least give it some support. All right, that should be good. We'll give this a little spot to rest. Ooh, this piece broke. Okay. Give this a little support, and we'll put all our Indian blue compost back in there. Give this a good watering. All right, so this is the Indian blue bucket we have. And I want to try to see if I can fit a lot of this compost into this 5-gallon bucket for storage. Oh, this is still really nice. I'll save as much as I can, but I think I'm just gonna get rid of this Indian blue. I'll have 5 gallons of compost, which is plenty. I don't use a whole lot of it. I mostly give it away. So you could see how small these worms are. Trying to get a hook on these is not easy. It's a royal pain. They move real quick, really active, but trying to get them hooked up, not great. All right, so we got enough compost here. There's so many worms in here. Little worm ball. So there was one worm in here that I got that's this thing. Now, if he's the biggest Indian blue I've ever seen, he's huge. Maybe it's a different kind of worm, I don't know, but biggest one in the bucket. All right, so we're in the process of making the new bedding. I made sure to wash out this tub really well, just so that the blues won't come back, or it'll be very minimal. I do have blues in my red wigglers and stuff. And I use this Bonsai paper shredder. I think it's a 16 or 18 cut. You can look up that model number. 18 sheets, there it is right there. And it feeds through really well. This is probably about 8 inches or so. And I cut these boxes up and then run them through it. And it's really easy. I have a video on that, so let me cut this box up, get some more cardboard, and show you guys how we do it. All right, so it's been about 2 or 3 minutes, I guess. And look at it, it's all shredded up. So I want a lot of shredded cardboard in here, because this is gonna get split between this one and that one. So there we go. That'll be good. And then I'm gonna put some of this cow manure compost that we have right here. We'll put some of that in there, put some lime, and I'm gonna wet it down and set it for a few days just to give it time to air out from the city water. I don't know if it makes a difference for worms, but I got time, so we'll just let that go for a day or two, and then I'll come and split the pile. All right, we got this all mixed up, or not mixed up, all wet. And I like to get it to a consistency to where it almost clumps up, but it doesn't really clump up because of all the cardboard in here. This is dolomite lime and some rabbit pellets. Rabbit's mostly alfalfa, so I like to mix that in here. Part of the reason I'm going to give it a day or two, see if it heats up, because I'm mixing it through the whole thing. So we'll get this mixed up pretty good, and I'm just going to give it a day or two to settle down. Let that rabbit food kind of dissolve a little bit. But this looks great. I think my ratio is really nice. I just normally eyeball it. I wanted more cardboard than anything, and that looks like what we got. So the only thing I have left to do is put a covering on it so it doesn't dry out. And then we'll split the worms next time. So stay tuned.